Hi guys, my name's Dale Spears and I'm from SIB TV, which means should I buy that van? And today we're going to do a video comparing the Vauxhall Vivaro to the Ford Transit Custom. I get asked all the time myself. I've got 10 years motor trade experience from selling the vehicles, from driving them, from day to day. So I've got a good indication and the pros and cons for you guys on what's good. So we'll look at a few different points on the Vivaro, a few different points on the Transit Custom. So when you're spending your money, whether that's financing or cash or however you want to fund the vehicle, you're making the right decision. So if we start off today with the Vauxhall Vivaro, which is, and this particular model was made from 2014 to 2019, where PSA Group have bought Vauxhall. So today's review and comparison is based on a 2017 Vivaro and a 2017 Custom. I'd say the main points that stand out is this particular model is a long wheelbase sportif. So it comes with a decent amount of spec, as standard stuff like air conditioning, Bluetooth and cruise control. What you find is a lot of these will be the sport model and you will get that decent amount of spec. The engine itself is a 1.6 CDTI, so it is ridiculously good on fuel. It averages around 40 miles per gallon plus. And from selling these from the last sort of 5-10 years, the fuel economy is absolutely amazing and second to none. That is a big selling point on the Vivaro in comparison to the Transit. I think the main thing looking at it is the two model engines they do is 115 brake and a 120 brake, but there's barely any difference. So if you're looking at spending your money, the 5 brake horsepower difference for that twin turbo, personally, from carrying weight in the vehicle, from using it, it doesn't seem to be a huge difference. This particular model, it has got a payload. It's the long wheelbase, so you've got a load length of 2.85 metres, so it's a decent amount of load length, and it will carry just shy of a tonne. And it will carry that easily, even with that 1.6 engines. A decent motorway journey, 70 miles per hour, you will get 40 miles per gallon plus. It's so good on fuel. We'll come around and look at the back just so you can show the payload of the particular vehicle. So coming around to the rear of the vehicle, you've got the load length of around 2.83 metres. So it's a really decent amount. You can, on a long wheelbase model, get an 84 straight in on the side. A short wheelbase you can, but it will be on the floor, so not as practical, not as easy. So long wheelbase tends to be more popular for your carpenters or obviously plasterers who need to get that extra length. You'll see just on that video there, low through bulkhead. We will go around and have a look at that. But you can get just shy of under 4 metres, so carpet fitters, it's great, and you're not going massive. So to compare this against the giant L4 Relay or Boxer or Transit, you haven't got to go huge. So parking, you don't want to anger the neighbours, for example. It's going to be nice and straightforward. But then you've still got that fuel economy without going into a huge van as well. So it's a decent amount of load length. Again, just sort of under 3 metres, 2.85. So it's a decent length on that. We'll look in the cab next, see what sort of specs and extras you get, and why spec-wise it does come as standard. A little bit more than the Transit, depending on obviously again what base or trim model you go for. But that's where I think a little bit of its downside is, and we'll take a look at that now. Interior in the vehicle is pretty nice and pretty plush as standard. One thing I would say personally, and from just personal point of view, the plastics do feel a little bit cheaper than the Ford. They don't feel that the build quality isn't as good. However, it does make up for it again with that fuel economy. And buying parts in the vehicle as well, which I think is a big thing we've got to look at, is when you're buying the parts, they're not that expensive. They're very reasonable. I think 30% of the market in 2018 was Vauxhall. So there's a big player in the field. So parts are reasonable and they are cost effective as well. We'll have a look in the cab if you want to come through. So interior wise, if you look at that steering wheel, you've got the cruise control. You've got that speed limiter on there as well. It comes with standard with a 6-speed gearbox. All these particular vehicles come with a 6-speed as standard. So that then gives you that 40 miles per gallon and that fantastic fuel economy. Particular models come with DAB radio as well, so you can listen to your history or depending on what particular radio station you like. Personally, History or Kiss Fresh. Anything playing up-to-date dance music is fantastic. You've also got a switch there on the side to turn reverse park sensors off. And then also this little button here, which is like an off-roady mode. I don't know many people go off-roading in a Vivaro, but if you do need to go off-roading, you've got that. It slightly affects the suspension, but it's great for a building site. So, me personally, I'd say we're going to SIB TV score out of 10. So we're going to rate a van from 1 to 10. 10 being the van is the best van I've ever seen, and go and get one. And 1 being an okay van, you know, a very poor van. It's not going to fit the bill. It's not going to be good enough. Recommended trades was people using this van. Couriers, 100%. Courier work, these are a great van. Fuel economy is really good, and it will look after you as long as you service it. The service intervals are 2 years or 25,000 miles, so it's a decent service interval. But personally, I'd recommend 12 months. Just put it for an oil and filter. if you look after the van, it's going to look after you. So the main 5 top points of the Vivaro would be A, the fuel economy, B, the style and the looks. I think it's smart. C, you've got the 6-speed gearbox, which again is going to have that power transmission ratio. The choice of engines, which is great, and that load length with that hatch provides a fantastic one. And I think some points that are not great, so the downsides of it is that the build quality interior, the plastics do feel a little bit cheap inside. They're not as strong or as quality as your Ford Transit, but again, it makes up for that with that fantastic fuel economy and with the style and with the looks. I think this van is ageless. It will look fantastic in 5-10 years time. And Vivaros as well don't rust. If you look at old Vivaros, the bodywork, the paintwork lasts really, really well. So there's some main points. A score out of SIB TV out of 10 is going to be around a 7 out of 10. And then let's have a look at the Transit Custom. And this is the top fully loaded of the range. Obviously not the sport model, but the sort of normal run-of-the-mill what you'll get. The limited model is fully loaded. I'm going to be honest, completely straight from the start. I do own a Ford, so I may be a little bit biased towards it. But there's a couple of reasons for that, and I'll explain that in the video. So this particular model is the short wheelbase, so you'll have a load length of 2.56 meters. An 8x4, big question, you can get one on the floor, so you can get an 8x4 sheet into it. So this is, again, your plasterers. It's not as practical as a long wheelbase. The long wheelbase, same size as the Vivaro, is 2.86 meters, so you can get one on the side rather than on the floor. The engine in these vehicles, from 2016 onwards, they moved to a 2-litre engine. TDCI, it's a Euro 6, so you've got the AdBlue, and it's a 6-speed model. It does pull very well, and it's got a lot more torque than the Vivaro, which I think is a major point. So it will pull weight better because of physics. A bigger engine will naturally just pull more weight. There's nothing you can do about it. But the downside of that is, in comparison to the Vivaro, it is heavier on fuel. It's not heavy on fuel, but Fords generally, from every Ford I've drove, connects. From the old shape Transit, you guys, the viewers at home, have seen the old models, 04s, 05s. Ford have never been fantastic on the fuel. Whether it's American and they just want to drink the fuel, I don't know. But it is good. The average, I'd say, around 32 miles per gallon. Obviously, official figures will be more than that. But where it lacks on fuel economy is it excels in other areas. So we'll have a quick look around the vehicle looks-wise. You've got the full body colour bumpers. The nice big Ford badge, which I think looks absolutely fantastic on the van. You can tell it's quality, it's Ford all the way. You do get alloy wheels when I come around you get alloy wheels as standard now on the Ford Transit Custom Limited. So it's not wheel trims, it doesn't look like an alloy wheel. And the alloys, you can swap these for nice big sport ones or whatever you like. It's very customizable. And you probably see a lot of conversions of M Sport models, for example. But I think the alloys standard look great on this particular. You do get the side panels body colored as standard, power fold mirrors, and again I think it's a nice sweeping look. It's a very modern looking van. Same as the Vivaro, the looks wise is ageless. This vehicle will look fantastic in 5-10 years time, and compared to the old model rust, I think the old Mark 7 Transits were notorious for rust on the vehicle. So this particular van is a lot better. The only downside I do see on these is the rear door hinges and the front doors. You can get a slight creak. It's the not strut mount. I haven't got a clue what it is. I'm not a mechanic, but it knocks the door when it opens. And the rear of the vehicles, the hinges can get a little bit rusty. Ford are aware of the issue, and it's something obviously they're looking at. We'll come around to the rear of the vehicle. The new facelifted model, they have got rid of that, so the hinges are a lot better on that. So this particular vehicle's had a deadlock on it, but both the Vivaro and Transit both benefit from that low-through hatch on the top model. So that's the Limited and Sport. If you go for like a Vivaro base model or a Transit Custom base model, you will not get that hatch in there. So limited wise as well, resale. I think when you're spending your own money and you're buying that vehicle or leasing that vehicle, whichever route you fund it from, you've got to look at resale. Get a better van. Same as a house. If you buy a 4-bedroom house compared to a 3-bedroom house, the 4-bed's going to be worth more in the long run. It may cost more than there, but you will be better off in the long run. So a higher spec model on a lease will give you a better residual value, or on a purchasing the vehicle, when you come to sell it in 4 or 5 years or part exchange it in, a limited model, particularly on our site here, would make an extra £1,000. So it's certainly worth having a look at. So size-wise decent. You've got some tie hooks in the back, ply lining. This is extra ply. Those who've had a full custom from new, it does come with like a basic little square. It's not as good as this, and it does come with a bulkhead as standard. And this floor, which is like a plastic floor, the wood on it is personally a lot better, because if you've got boxes, it slides everywhere. So I don't know who thought of it, but eBay do a carpet or a load line on the floor for around, I think it's £25, and it's a nice carpet and it stops them sliding around. So let's go look around the interior, see what the inside's like on this Ford. So looking on the interior of the Ford Transit Custom, again, this for me is where it really shines. It's got a similar setup to the all-new Cougar, the all-new Focus. It feels like you're in a prestige car when you're in a van. And I think that's where Ford have really killed the interior and why it is one of my favourite vans. And I have to say that, well, I shouldn't be biased because doing a comparison video, but from selling them, from driving them, from being inside the Ford is fantastic. So looking interior wise, if you're going to come over to the dash there, you've got the volume command, you've got Bluetooth connectivity, you've got air conditioning, cruise control, speed limiter. You've also got heated seats, which I think heated seats should be a must in all vehicles nowadays, but Vivaro are still a little bit behind on that. However, fingers crossed in the future. You can also adjust the seat. Now, if you look at the plastics on the dash, it seems like there's a lot more to me, attention to detail. You've got stuff like automatic lights, a full-on board computer, which is clear and concise. The voice command is awful. Hasn't got a clue what you're saying, so I can't recommend that. Personally, from having a Ford, the voice command is just non-existent. You can say phone home and it'll bring the PT, so just completely ignore it. But now the interior of the seats, it's a cracking looking van inside, and it really does last. I've had plasterers bring these back from 4 or 5 years time, and the durability and the plastics themselves are still looking strong. They're not falling off, they're not falling apart. So an SIB TV out of 10, we'll go towards at the end, but the main bits now, if I say 5 main points about the Transit Custom, is the looks is number 1. The styling, how it looks fantastic, it looks great with your sign writing. Number 2, the engine, the gearbox are fluent, the solid and the powerful. Number 3, the trim level and spec is that of a top car. So if you're selling your car moving just to a van, the Transit Custom will tick all those boxes of a car, but it's practical. You can make money out of a van, you can make money. A car you can't. A car you can drive, it's emotional, it's nice to have one. We'll look at a nice car, but to actually money wise and make money, you can in this van, and you've got all that specification inside. You've got number 4, the accessories, the DAB, the system itself is very good, part of the voice command, which is awful. I have to say that itself. And then I think number 5 is the alloy wheels. I think they're a big jump. They help with your load capacity. Naturally, they're going to be better, and they do help with the styling out of the van. This, particularly at the moment, Ford, the market, they do own the market. A big thing, which I know a lot of you are going to say, is that are they secure and are they safe? There's more Fords on the road. 2/3 of vans sold last year were Ford. So there's more to get broken into. So it's naturally a numbers game. The more there is on the road, the more it's going to get broken into. But however, they are more prone because there's more of them, so more people know about it. It's naturally going to be. So what I'd always recommend, you can get deadlocks fitted. The cost around, for a full rep lock, it's around 200 quid. Or for a normal deadlock, I'd personally just to the side and rear, it's completely up to you. They're around 250 quid, but definitely worth an investment. To stop the vehicle getting stolen, just get a steering wheel lock. That's, I've hundreds of different ways. I've looked at Ghosts, I've looked at different ways personally from my own Ford as well, and the most recommended one was literally just get a steering wheel lock and look out from there. So this particular van and the Ford SIB TV ranking out of 10 would be a 9 out of 10. So this is, in my opinion, one of the best medium-sized vans you can get on the market. They're very cost-effective, they're good to drive, the resale is very high, and the parts are reasonable as well. So if the vehicle does go wrong, the parts aren't, you're not going to cost £1 million to get it fixed. There'll always be common faults, and everything I say today in these videos is all going to be based on my opinion from selling for 10 years. You guys in the comments may say, hey, no doubt the Transit's the worst van. That's fine. It's the same as 50% of people are going to love chocolate and 50% I hate it. I don't know why everyone loves chocolate, so you should, you're a weird person, that over 50%, but you get my point. I think it's all going to be down to opinion on what you like as a van. So if you could like, share this video, subscribe, drop a comment down in the section what your favourite medium-sized van is, and then yeah, we'll see you in our future videos. So the winner of today's video is definitely the Ford Transit Custom, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.